been guilty of looking at someone your age and then thinking, oh, I don't look that old? Well, there's a story about a woman named Alice. She was going to the brand new dentist in town. And as she's sitting in the waiting room, she looks at his credentials and sees his full name there on the wall, and she thinks, I went to high school with someone with that name. I wonder if it's the same person. Oh, he was good looking, she remembers. Beautiful hair, good smile. She's thinking, oh, I had a crush on him. Well, her hopes dashed when she gets in the chair, and then the dentist comes in, and she looks at him and is like, ugh. He's bald, he's got wrinkles, got kind of a paunch. She says, no, well. So he does the appointment, and then near the end, she asks, did you go to Washburn High School? He said, well, yes, I did. And she says, well, when did you graduate? And he tells her. Then he says, why do you ask? And she says, well, I was in your class. You were in my class. And then he says, really? What subject did you teach? You know, every once in a while, people throw in those zingers, and we just want to go, ugh! I can't believe they said that. Every once in a while, there are people that just get to us. So we just want to, just make a fist and grunt. There are people who are our crazy makers. Maybe you encountered somebody at your Thanksgiving meal. They just set you off. Ugh. I know there's someone from the parish who doesn't like what I'm doing because they have sent us recently a couple of anonymous letters. I don't know what they're complaining about because I never read them. Whenever anybody sends a letter, it's not signed, it's junk mail, just throw it away, and I tell the staff, the parish council to do the same. They don't read it. If people have a comment or want us to improve, sign your name. Come up with a phone call or a cup of coffee and chat. Anyway, we all have people like that. It could be that person or it could be that group of people. They just drive us crazy. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to think of that group of people or even that person. And what I want you to do is I want you to make a fist, two fists like this. Okay, everyone do it. Put your hands up. I want you to do that. And on 3, I want you just to grunt. Okay, make a fist. 1, 2, 3. Does that feel better? You know, in the gospel, we are hearing the end of the liturgical year. So next week starts Advent, brand new liturgical year. This whole liturgical year, we've been listening to Mark's gospel. Now, Mark is the earliest of all the 4 gospels. We don't really know, probably written about the year 60 or so. Mark is also the shortest of the gospels. So what the church does is they fill in with passages from John. So like today, we were hearing from John's gospel. And that passage from John is actually toward the end of the gospel. It's Jesus talking to Pilate just before the crucifixion. Well, back to Mark. Again, Mark is the earliest gospel. And Mark doesn't have anything about Bethlehem or anything like that. Mark starts with the baptism of Jesus. So Luke and Matthew, they talk about Bethlehem and shepherds, okay, all that. So Mark begins with the baptism, and the very first word recorded in Mark's gospel, the very first thing that has Jesus saying is metanoia. Okay, remember the Gospels are in Greek. It's a Greek word. It means like, it's actually from 2 different Greek words. Meta meaning above, and nous or noia meaning mind. So it's kind of like having an above mind or a bigger mind. Many times when we read that passage from Mark, it's translated as repent. It goes, repent and believe in the good news. But a more accurate translation would be metanoia. and believe in the good news. Or have a bigger mind. Have a more open mind. Repent. That conjures images of like, oh, you've done something wrong, you're a bad person. But the intention from Mark's gospel is to say, no, be transformed. I want you to have a more open mind. Now, what happens many times is that we'll have a closed mind. And many times we can kind of demonstrate that when there's somebody who doesn't agree with us, and we kind of like, again, put our fists up and say, oh yeah. Because the opposite of metanoia would be another kind of noia, which is paranoia, to be paranoid. And that's when that person or that group, they just make us paranoid. And we just get so angry with them, and we just want to fight them. We want to tell them how they're wrong, or they got to improve, whatever it is. Well, there's a spiritual writer. His name is Henry Nouwen. Wonderful writer. Actually, we got a couple of his books in our library back there. Check them out. One of his famous books is called With Open Hands. And Father Nouwen, what he says is that Jesus demonstrated for us how to deal with people in conflict. Nouwen says about Jesus that he has open hands, like this conversation with Pilate. Jesus is not arguing with Pilate. Matter of fact, Jesus is not putting up his fist and saying, no, let's fight about this. Jesus is opening and just stating the facts, the truth as he knows it. And then Nouwen goes on to remind us again that after this encounter, Jesus then opens his hands on the cross. Now, there are some scholars who think that Jesus wasn't nailed in his hands, but was nailed in his wrist, because you can hold more weight there. But go with the nail thing here, okay? It works for the homily, okay? That Jesus is crucified in his hands. He opens his hands in a form of forgiveness, in the form of love, in the form of trusting God. Even when bad things are happening to him, even when he's got this pain. Now, there are early church writers. We call them church fathers. We'll call the early church fathers. There are some of them, this is way, way, way back. They say, again, symbolically, that each one of us, we have two minds. We also have two hearts. And we can choose which one we want to use. Because indeed, we can have that mind or that heart that is closed down. The one that says, I've got to be right. Or the one that says, I'll show you and I got to get revenged. Or we can have more of an open mind. Or an open heart. Especially when there's someone that's challenging you or someone you don't agree with. As opposed to trying to prove you're right, you stay stuck all the time and want to fight everybody and argue all the time and always have to be right. Jesus again turns it around. He says, when you get slapped on one side of your face, give them the other one and say, slap here also. When people insult you, when people hate you, rejoice. Be glad. When you are giving and giving, it feels like your heart is getting broken. That's when you're actually receiving. And you're only going to learn how to live when you learn how to deal with loss.